No, it was interesting. We played a lot of Christian schools.
Oh man, a religious battle.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
Well, actually, one of the places the like fans threw bagels at us.
No.
Yo, last night I fell asleep on the couch, and when I woke up, Rosemary's Baby was on. I never saw that before. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
How freaking freaky is that?
You watched the whole thing, or just
I
like caught
did.
the end of it?
No, I saw it probably like 5 or 10 minutes in, and I watched the whole thing.
Damn.
How crazy is that?
It's a messed up movie.
Yeah,
Especially
it
when
is.
did it come out? Like the 60s or late 60s?
Yeah, I think it was the 60s.
If you reproduce, you might have one of those.
That
might
would
wanna
be your
not.
baby, Dave.
Have the sex with your wife.
That's funny.
So what's going on? Here we are, episode 11, I think it is,
Good
Yeah,
episode.
officially.
10 or 11.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So we have Yael Pacino, right?
Yes,
Did I
that is
pronounce that
correct.
right?
Perfectly.
I never met. We were just talking about different people named Yael, and I never met anybody named Yael, or even heard the name before I met you.
Oh wow, and
Yeah.
you pronounce it so well. So
I
thank
hear you say it every week. So
That is true.
How did he convince you to actually come on this?
He actually shot me an email first and was like, "Hey, I have a quick question for you," and I was like very intrigued because most people just ask this question via email.
I have to set it up.
Yeah. So then he gave me a call and just asked very nicely if I would join you guys, and of course I was super excited because this is awesome.
And how did you know he wasn't luring you into some kind of crazy trap?
Actually, my boyfriend was like, "So how much do you know about this guy?" And I was like, "I promise you, it's okay."
You're in a room with 5 dudes now. You're like,
Right.
He should have
be
come
real
over with
trustworthy.
you. He should have come down with you.
Well, he was like, "Should I come?" I was like, "No, dude, it's fine." He like, I know this guy. I see him every week.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's not gonna kill me.
until you don't see him anymore.
Yeah. So we know each other from a networking breakfast we go to every week, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good gig for the organization. It's an international organization, and basically they say, here are the rules. If you want to be a part of this, set up shop at some restaurant or something once a week, and then pay us. And you just keep paying them all the
Oh,
time.
it's like a meeting.
Yeah, it's like a meetup, but
Okay.
with, a bunch of different people. Some are big, some are like 40 people plus. And
There's bacon.
Oh well.
it's
now
we
know
go to
why.
a good
Yeah.
place. We go to a
Now we
good
know why.
spot. Yeah. But the organization makes a killing.
Yeah,
They make a killing.
that's smart. A lot of businesses are starting to do that. The mobile meeting places.
Yeah.
Real quick. You don't have to pay the rent and all the expenses.
Yeah.
It's a great cult kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
It does
for-
seem a little cultish when we read the the motto.
Yeah, when everyone gets initiated, you have to stand up and read this. Like,
Wait, what?
All
It's-
together in unison. It's very
It's so
it's
creepy.
very strange.
What
Yeah.
is that for?
Just to induct somebody new in, you read the rules and regulations. Basically, there's like 4 or 5 different points, but you
Yeah.
read it all together. You stand up and read it together in unison. Yeah, it's a little.
No wonder you agreed
It's
to
a
this.
little
You're
much.
fine with that. You're like, I didn't die last week. I'm
Still
Little do they
kicking.
know Dave's the leader. He's stirring up, he's stirring up the Kool-Aid in the back while everybody's getting there.
It's Yael and some homeless dude there in there. He's like, all right, everyone chant.
That's so great. So Yael,
man.
tell us the origin of your name. So the first name
Sure.
is.
Yael is Hebrew. It means to go up to God. And my middle name is Bracha, which means blessing. So together
Wow.
it's a blessing to go up to God. And when my parents realized who they named, yes. So it was actually really kind of crazy. I don't remember this because I was born, but I was 2 months premature. And so my mom was, lost a ton of blood, and it's kind of like a miracle that we both survived. So my dad
Oh, wow.
named me a blessing that goes up to God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well-
That's pretty awesome.
And for the first year, my mom could not pronounce my name.
And named it.
Yeah, poor woman.
I'll
Yeah,
probably butcher it 10 times tonight.
yeah,
So.
it's great.
Well, we're happy that, you're here and all things are well.
Thank
So,
you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And your last name is very Italian.
Yes.
So your dad's Italian? Or your
No,
mom?
actually, we changed it when we came to America.
Oh,
like
okay.
Generations ago.
Huh.
But since it is Pacino and my first name is Yael, everyone on the phone thinks I'm saying Al Pacino. And then when I'm like start talking, they're like, "Wait a second, you're not a 75-year-old Italian."
Yeah.
man."
That's
Like,
good.
You're not
sorry.
Serpico.
Yeah. And when I was younger, people would call me Scarface, but I never saw that movie, so I had no idea what they were talking about, and
Yeah.
I'd cry about it like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great childhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough. So I've heard your 10-minute presentation.
Yes.
So every week at this breakfast, somebody gets a turn to give a 10-minute presentation, and I kind of know your background, how you ended up doing what you're doing now. But why don't you tell everybody, like, take them through from college to
Sure.
your career?
So actually, if I'm going all the way back, I moved to Israel for a year for college. Realized that I wanted to be in America. I just my Target and my Starbucks and all that good stuff. Seriously, it's like a
Yeah.
real struggle when you're 18-year-old American and there's no Starbucks around. You're like, what's going on?
There's really none over there?
No, they tried it like a few, like maybe a decade or so ago, but no one went because it's
Oh, wow.
very American. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't drink Starbucks, so it's kind of funny that. Anyway,
That worked.
so after a year of being in Israel, I moved back to America. I went to University of Maryland for public relations.
Tarpon?
And, what?
You tarpon?
Tarpon?
Tarpon? Is that what?
Terrapin?
Terrapin? Terrapin?
We're
Yes.
still teaching gym vocabulary. Just be
Hooked on
patient.
phonics
Be
said,
patient.
fuck you, Jim. Oh, well.
Yes, I am a Terrapin through and through. Yes, I was actually in college when we were still part of the ACC, and now we're part of the Big Ten, which is not as fun, if you ask me. But anyway, so I graduated from Maryland, started a job in DC. After a week, I realized how much I hated it.
The job or DC?
Both.
Oh, okay.
What was
No.
your career?
Public relations. So I was just in advertising and marketing, and it wasn't very much for me. And I realized, I was 20 years old or 21 years old, and I was hating my life already. And I was like, this seems a little, yeah.
Jim had the same thing, and he's still getting over
I
it.
said, screw it, it's a paycheck.
It's
No. You got to trust those instincts, though. We talked about that
yes, yeah.
a few episodes ago. That inner gut
Oh,
tells
yeah.
you. You got to listen to it.
It's strong. It's definitely strong. So I also was going through a bad breakup, of course. And then one of my friends was like, you should get a hobby. So I was like, oh, what's a fun 20-year-old hobby? So I, of course, Googled online and was like, what do 20-year-olds do in DC? Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Complain.
Google that.
Yeah, okay.
So then I found this 1-hour photography class in Chinatown, and decided to go. And then after an hour, I was like, this is what I'm doing with my life.
Cool.
It was a very cool kind of gut moment where I was like, I'm doing this. And my friends
it
were
feels right.
like, what are you talking about? You have never picked up a camera. And I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. So then the next day at work, instead of actually working, I was like, now I went to Google, was like, so how do you become a photographer? And I found this 10-month intensive program in Massachusetts, Western Massachusetts, and I applied. And it was kind of like they taught you how to go from turning on a camera to, 10-point lighting. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to Massachusetts. And so I applied, got in, moved to Massachusetts. And between applying and moving, I met my boyfriend. So it was kind of cool because it was like, once I figured out what I wanted to do with my life, I ended up meeting the guy that, I'm still with. So yeah, it was kind of cool. So then after 10 months, I moved to Philadelphia. And actually, while I was in school, I was all about food photography. And I was like, this is my life. I'm so excited. Yeah, toast and bagels and fruit.
That's a hard art. Whenever we do a photo shoot, that's a full professional thing. And most people don't get that. Like, just take a picture of our food. Like, nah, it doesn't work that way.
Right, exactly. And so the trick is to... if you as the photographer are hungry from looking at your photo, that's when you know it's good.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I was just having this.
They must take a lot of food pictures.
All bacon. All bacon.
But then I was like, I had an internship in Philadelphia during my last month of photography school, and I was like driving back from Philly to Mass every week, and while I was like getting yelled at in this Philadelphia food photography studio about bring me the eggs or whatever it was that I was trying. Yeah. I realized that I did not like this. And I was like getting text messages from this mom that was saying like, oh my God, the family photos that you took of us last week, like make me cry every time I see them. It means so much to me. Like my son lost over 100 pounds and I'm just really, really happy that we got to capture this. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool compared to, you know, like taking photos of toast that doesn't, they don't talk to you. They don't say anything to you.
It's good sometimes.
Right.
You know.
That makes sense. I think the food does talk to Jim, but that's a whole other story.
That's why I kill it. I gotta eat it up. Eat it up.
Oh yeah. So then, and that was like literally a week before I graduated from photography school. So I like decided to change my entire, you know, business plan and life goals based on this one text
aggressive.
message. Yeah.
How
For
old were you?
20, because you were, what, 21 at this point?
I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't really think long term. I was just like, this is what
Long
I
term, you're
want.
21.
I know,
Yeah, but that's
like,
what some people do, Jim. They don't start thinking about that when they're 45.
I'm 43. I just thought about it last Tuesday.
And how'd that go for you?
And so far, it's so good.
Yeah?
Made a couple dollars.
Oh, man.
Didn't get fired this week.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so far.
something.
It's only Monday, but
Right. We'll check back in on Tuesday.
yeah, see you tomorrow. I'll text you guys.
Just remember, you have to not pay for a full 12 months before they start to foreclose. So you're good.
12?
I think it's 12
Good.
now.
I don't know if you heard. I bought a ridiculously large house. It's only my wife and I.
That's awesome.
No.
Oh.
Not when the bill comes.
No.
Yeah.
That
There's
would've
one
been
room
fun.
that I won't even. I'm scared to go in because the doors never open. I'm like, what's in there? Another room.
Do you hear any noises?
Not so far, thank God.
Okay, that's good.
We put a security system in there, and my dog walked by, and I heard motion detected one night. And that put a little
Wow.
gut feeling in there, but yeah, so it was all good
I
though.
could only imagine. Is that where's your house?
Right here. in
Oh,
town.
great.
Yeah,
Not
Perfect.
far.
we all
That's
live.
awesome.
We all live here.
And it's a kind of an a suburban,
Oh, nice.
you know, road, a lot of land. So something happens out there, nobody's going to know. You know?
That's why.
Just the dog.
You should see where Dave lives.
Yeah, mine's even worse, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Can
less
only
neighbors.
imagine.
Yeah.
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 So
it's
now
pretty
you
wide open.
are how old?
I am 26.
Okay.
Not supposed to ask that.
Yeah.
What? No, because we're taking you.
Do you want
going
my
back.
social
I'm going back to
security
20.
also?
Yeah. Going back to 21, where you said you changed gears again.
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of changing of gears. But then
But
when I
that's
mo-
good
Yeah.
that you did it then. 'Cause some people
Exactly.
don't do that until like they're Jay's age,
Yeah.
including Jason.
Yep.
But go ahead.
But I mean, I didn't have any responsibility, so it was really easy for me to change gears
Yeah.
then.
That's when to do it.
Exactly.
And your parents were, where do they live again?
They live in Baltimore.
Baltimore. So they were good. They didn't miss you. Like say, I'm sure they miss you, but they weren't saying, "Yo, don't go to Massachusetts."
they were totally supportive.
good.
The rest of my family lives in Israel, so like Massachusetts is a little bit closer.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they're like, go do your thing, come back
That's good.
whenever you want. Take
Yeah.
photos of my grandkids. And they're happy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because Dave and his parents never say they love each other.
Oh, here we go.
Never.
He brings
I
that up
can
every
tell.
time.
I can tell.
She can tell.
They moved out to California with me for 9 months or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was.
They didn't call him once, or he didn't call them.
No,
once.
that's not true. That's not true.
Did you get
But
a
they didn't call
text?
every day or
No.
anything like that.
Did your parents call every day?
Almost.
Almost.
I'm the only child, and my mom still thinks I'm 12. I was in the army for a while, and every day she would try to call. I'm
That's
like, Mom, you can't call. Like, I'm in the army with these army guys, and
right, and there's your mom.
I don't want to get beat up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brutal. So then you moved full time to Philadelphia. Is that correct?
Yes. As soon as literally the day after I graduated photography school, I moved to Philadelphia. And, just trying to figure it out ever
Yeah.
since.
Because that's where your boyfriend was
Yes,
from,
my
right?
boyfriend was in law school at the time. So after a year of long distance, it was enough.
Yeah.
And since I was starting this whole new career, there was really no reason to be like back in Baltimore or in Massachusetts.
That's the exciting part. What you do, you can do it anywhere. Well, in most
Yeah, exactly.
major cities.
But so it's funny because my boyfriend's always like, "Oh, let's move to Colorado or Austin," and I was like, "All right, you want me to be poor for the rest of my life?" Because you have
Yeah.
to build a network.
Yeah,
as
yeah, right.
B&I teaches us. And it's been an interesting experience building my network here
Very cool.
and starting from kind of nothing.
Yeah,
And you've
that's
gotten
what,
some good work from the group, right? That
Yeah,
we're in?
thank God.
Yeah.
I just signed a contract today with another wedding.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is
good
that what
stuff.
you do the most?
Yeah,
weddings?
mostly weddings, bar mitzvahs, a
Okay.
lot, headshots,
Yeah. yeah.
and then just family photos.
New babies.
Oh,
things like
yeah.
that. What's your favorite?
Weddings.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jason, is that your favorite to video?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, wedding.
Dave videos weddings.
That's awesome. I feel like it's a very different experience.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because every wedding's different.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
Right.
So that's what I like about it. It's always like a different experience.
That's why Jay's probably never gonna get married.
After you've seen 130 some, you know.
Well, when I catered all those years, I helped my family has a catering business
cool.
even still, and I helped them in a lot of weddings. Not I haven't been to as many as you, Jason, probably, but enough where they're all different, like you say, but the basic themes that are the
Formalities are a lot
same. It's like
yeah.
the chicken dance was at everyone and all this stuff.
Boy, man.
And it's like
You were at
I
some
always
bad
talk about
weddings,
that. No, but I mean, it did get to be kind of like monotonous after a while for me,
yeah.
you know.
When you see a different wedding, like I mean, you being from Israel, you'll know that if there's an Israeli custom at a wedding, it really stands out and it makes it a lot more interesting. Because I've done Orthodox Jewish weddings. I've done
they're fun.
Armenian weddings, Greek weddings. So those are a
The
lot
Greek ones
crazier.
are probably
they're-
off the hook.
They're nuts, man.
Yeah.
They're very crazy.
I
yeah.
was the best man for my friend who he's half Greek and half Italian, but he married a girl that was Jewish, and they put the glass wrapped up in the napkin on the floor,
Oh,
and I'm just
no.
looking at it
Right.
like, what's going on here? And he's like, step on it, step on it. I have no idea.
didn't have to step
He didn't,
on it. The
he didn't
groom
prep
does.
me at all.
The
What?
groom's supposed to step on it. Not you.
No, I
He made
wasn't.
you
This
step
one.
on it?
Yeah.
That's
Not
That's
right.
not
is it?
right.
Oh, that's not right. Am I married to
I
her
think
now?
you are.
Oh
Yeah, you're
God.
married to her.
Oh God.
You're not gonna break this to Nikki tonight.
Yeah.
No.
Your second marriage is null and void.
Look, I had no idea. I'm just looking at the glass. I had never been to a wedding that wasn't Catholic.
Oh
And,
shit, Wolverine's back. What's up, Dom?
Oh, he did come back.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Dominic's back.
Dom used to be on here with us, but he had to go get a real career.
oh,
Yeah.
what's his real career?
Not like us slackers.
He works for hers, the potato
Nice.
chip
Oh,
place. Yeah.
that's the
Good
potato-
Benny's careers.
There it is. He's got the hat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we get some of them? Can you hook us up? With...
I had to get this from Nottingham.
Oh, okay.
So I had to.
They're hard to
actually
come by.
Won the test for knowing the codes.
Oh,
Nice.
He had a test for that hat. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
It's a
Congrats.
good looking hat.
Yeah.
Got this hat for free.
Yeah, Dom's basically a local celebrity.
He's gonna be. He's gonna be
Yeah.
a big time rock star.
He is.
Yep.
So weddings, you said were your favorite, right?
Yes.
So what's some weird stuff that, like, any good stories about taking photographs?
I'm trying to think. People ask me this all the time, and I can never. I mean, they're all the couples that I work with have been really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And totally straightforward. Sometimes when I work with other photographers and go with them to their weddings, there's some interesting things. Like there was one. It was a wedding at the Mutter Museum. Do you know?
I haven't been there, but I've heard about
Do you
it.
know what the Mutter Museum is? It's where they have like all these brains in jars and like.
Oh
dead
shit!
Wow.
And that's in Philly, or?
Yes, it's in Philly.
Okay.
Place
It's.
to have a wedding?
Yeah,
It's-
wow.
I mean, the
That's
building
interesting.
is really, really beautiful because they have this beautiful library that's stunning, which is a little silly.
Dave, you can start charging people to go in your basement now.
Yeah,
You can
right.
make some money with all
I
those,
will too.
all
Yeah,
those
I
dead
will.
people. See you, buddy.
Do I even want to know what?
Don't listen to Jim. Just continue.
We were off the air for a few months because Dave's basement got raided because of the show.
Oh, yeah.
FBI, Delta Force, and SEAL Team 6 had to go in there. But it was all good. It was just.
I fought them all off.
Right.
Rumor mill.
Oh,
I fought
clear,
them all
right.
off. Yeah.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
He has a fake wall that slides back and forth. So
Like Bruce Wayne.
he was able to hide all the anarchy behind that.
Oh, good God.
So, are you considered a millennial? What's the age cutoff?
I think I'm considered a millennial technically.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think it
You
starts at, like,
might miss
I'm on the
the
cusp.
No, she's late 20s, so I think yeah, she is.
Well, you
I-
might be the next one. What's the one before millennial?
You, Generation X.
You mean
no,
after?
No, I mean.
Oh, after
new-
that.
You mean after?
Generation Z, I think, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely not Generation Z.
No.
They're
the
really
cutoff on that?
cool.
1980 to 2000 is the one that I saw.
Yeah.
It all varies. I don't
Yeah.
know how they, but they say a generation is 20 years. So if they start at 1980, it would go to the year 2000 if you were
Yeah.
born in that time period.
And how did they come up with like who we are and what?
Just how we act as adults and just judge it off of that. I
I
guess.
see it changing all
We're
the
Generation
time.
X, Dave. You know?
Yeah.
We're X.
Yeah.
You and I are X. I think
Means old.
Jason and Ace are.
means things hurt.
I think Jason and Ace might be millennial.
We were considered Generation Y when I was in high school, and then I guess we just got
Right.
lumped into the millennials. So.
I know they just morphed them sort
Yeah,
of
it's
together.
Ace, what do you have to say about that?
Sweet.
Your generation, awesome, bro.
What
Yeah.
doesn't he have to say
That's
about
great.
it?
See, many words I have about it. No, actually, I recently did look that up, like probably a week ago, because I was curious myself, and it turns out yes, Jay and I are millennials.
Yeah, between 1981 and 1996. So
Yeah.
that's actually.
Are you proud of that
15
fact
years.
that you are?
Am
a
I proud of
millennial?
it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it, truthfully.
That's kind of how I feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how it. Yeah, that's
think-
where I sit.
I think some millennials give you guys a bad rap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that. And I think there's people from Generation X that could be lumped into the millennials, honestly. There's people from your generation that I feel like act entitled sometimes and stuff, you
Yeah.
know? So,
I feel like though every new generation that's coming into the workforce is like, you know, called like the millennials. So like, you know, oh, lazy, they don't like to work, but they just do it differently.
Yeah.
So from what I've read, Generation Z, so generation or millennials are very much more like communal workers, and we like community, and we like working on like projects like that. But the next generation is much more like about themselves and wanting to achieve their goals without the help of other people. So I think
do
it's,
hate people.
yeah, essentially.
I like being by myself. No, I can see that. I can see that.
And
A
I
lot of people
think
like team building.
the idea of everything changes so quickly. I have no view. I think that's what I've come to terms with, because like I think the idea of entitlement changes with every generation as well. Like you could look back and be like, oh, these kids are so entitled, blah, 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 whatever. But then if you flip that around, being an older person like myself, I'm sort of looking at it the wrong way, because I don't see it from their view. I don't see life from there looking up. You know, at this point, who I'm looking up at or looking down at are just in completely different worlds. So
Yeah,
tis what it is, man.
that's
Yeah.
true, man. It is what it is. My thing is, you work your ass off. I don't care what the hell you're called. As long as you bust your ass and get shit done.
Well, I just recently saw some video, or I should say, my boyfriend shows me all these things. I don't pay attention, and then he's like, "Look at this thing," where they were talking about how, you know, the people who are retiring now and getting all the Social Security and all that, you know, the good benefits, had a very different work experience than what we're kind of dealing with. Like, we're much more
yeah.
about hustling,
Yeah.
and they just got that 9-to-5 job, stay there for like 30 years, and then
Yep.
they're,
Right.
you know.
and they were able to afford pensions and stuff back then because
Right.
healthcare wasn't through the roof like it is now. So,
Right.
I mean,
Oh, it was-
everything's just changing.
Everything
crazy.
was different.
Oh, yeah.
But most families were one income families, and that was fine. They
Mhm.
got by, no problem. Yeah, it's totally different.
Not no more.
Totally
Yeah.
different. Nope.
Everybody's got to work.
So yeah, we didn't really, or I didn't go into it when I asked you to come on. But the thing that sparked my interest in having you on is we were talking about different things on social media, and I brought up how you had mentioned, you know, I didn't mention your name or anything, but I brought up how you had mentioned you have some clients that are getting professional photos done for their dating sites,
Yes.
right? And Jason had
Yes.
a pretty
Yeah, I lost my shit when Dave told me that.
had a pretty good response to it.
Yeah, it
pretty
was-
big response.
It kind of fired me up a little bit. But just because I don't know. I'm not.
So let's talk about this.
I'm not into the whole pretentious, superficial mindset of some people out there that want to just look good online and not be a good person in real life
Right.
or anything, you know.
Jay looks
So
good on the beach in real life.
I'm
Well,
more
it is
about talking to somebody to their face and not just trying to meet somebody through an app or something like that and try to, you know, impress somebody through these accolades that I impose upon myself as opposed to actually getting to know somebody and learn something about somebody, you know.
Right.
And it just when Dave told me that there's people getting professional
I was shocked when I heard it.
photography,
Really?
Yeah.
you know, to impress people online,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
He ripped his shirt off.
Yeah, you got all fired up.
Threw the
I mean, it's
camera
good
down.
for you. You're making money off
Right.
of it, which is great. But
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
so-
I don't get it.
How do you meet people? Like, if so, you say you don't want it like online or whatever. Do you just walk up to people?
No, it was. I don't think Jason's problem was that they were on online dating sites. It was the fact that they were getting professional photos
Oh.
for it instead of
Right.
just snapping
Right.
a
Yeah.
quick selfie or having somebody just snap a picture with a phone or whatever.
And I'm all fine for online dating sites like, you know, Match.com or whatever, where you're actually trying to meet somebody that you match up with and have a good compatible relationship with.
Right.
But and I might have taken this out of context, but they've almost made it seem like this was for like the Tinder and Bumble sites where guys
Right.
are just trying to meet a girl for a fling or something.
Well,
I wasn't discriminating on sites.
No, you
That's what-
weren't. No, you. But that's how I took it.
Oh, okay.
I might have taken it out of context. Is
Okay,
what I'm saying.
gotcha.
I think it's a mix. I have some people who are really just they're like introverts, so it's hard for them to get those naturally good like snap pictures, I guess, or just don't have a lot of friends to take those photos. Also,
That's-
especially with men, I don't know.
That's
I don't know
Jim.
about you
He didn't have
guys,
any
but-
friends to take photos.
Dave's like, oh.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, a lot of the men that I meet aren't the ones like being like, "Oh, let's take a selfie" or whatever. It's usually the women who are like, "Oh, we need 1,000,000 photos," and
the men that Jim meets take a lot of selfies. Yeah.
Hey, man. Why not?
so do you meet them on Grinder?
Yeah, Grinder.
It
Um,
does.
the own stone tablet. Send that out. I'm old, man. I don't even know how to. Wouldn't even know how to. If I was
Jim
single, I
sends
don't even
courier pigeons.
how to operate. Carrier pigeons. Will you go out with me? Like notes in school. I like you. Check yes or no.
I
if
used
you
to
like
get
me.
notes. Remember that?
Yeah, you
That
got
was good
no
stuff.
notes.
Yeah, I got some
There's
notes.
no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, actually,
man.
a lot of the people who have been inquiring about it are like, 60, 70-year-olds who want to
Wow.
get on
Really?
Wow.
Bumble or Tinder.
Senior citizens?
There's a lot of senior citizens that are single.
Yeah,
a lot
but
of them.
But like using those apps and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Man,
crazy.
they're on it. They
Wow.
want to get it.
See, I didn't know that. I thought the people that were your clients were more in the like 40 range or.
So it really depends. So, like, I had someone a few months ago who is like my age, 26.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also had, this woman who is, after she just like got divorced, and she's like looking to meet someone, and it's hard to meet people. So she's looking on these like websites, but she only had a picture of her at like 40, so she was
wow.
getting the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all those 65-year-old men were like, yes, I want to date that woman. So
Jason was probably on there after her.
so it's interesting, and then it's also the way older people want headshots is also different, because like the people who are my age are like, oh, you take control, and you like will go to a park and wear different outfits, but
Wow.
there's like a very
Wow,
yeah.
that's intense.
That's
Oh,
a whole
yeah.
thing,
That's
man.
involved.
I had this one guy who brought 5 different suits.
Oh man!
It's
That
like-
dude's gonna be single forever. He's
Wow!
like, I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Oh man,
What the hell?
You like
Well,
the
this
green
one
or
guy-
the blue?
that is serious.
Yeah, this one guy though, over a year ago, he contacted me about dating profiles, photos, and we did it. It was great, really sweet guy. And then like less than a year later, he called me about engagement photos.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so it
See?
worked. Yeah,
That's your magic.
It-
You're
Less
getting
than a year,
Jason's
though?
attention now.
That's
Getting
not
his
too
attention.
smart if you ask me.
That's your skills.
Oh,
That's
it's crazy.
awesome. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even know it was a thing until Dave brought it up
I didn't either.
last episode.
Oh, and there, if you go to New York, it's like thousands of dollars for these.
Wow.
Me, not so much. I
Yeah.
don't charge that much.
Well, we're gonna market the hell out of you in here. What's your contact info? Your website? for folks to go to?
Yael.photos. So YAEL.photos. Yeah. Surprisingly, not a lot of people had my name. So it worked out for me.
It's awesome.
Go.
And also I'm on Instagram and Facebook. All of those cool
Yeah.
cool places people like to hang out these days.
Yeah.
Very good.
All those youngsters.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how about people your age? Like, what are some things? So that's something that sounds like a lot more toward the middle age.
Yeah.
People are doing. But how about like your age? What are some things that are kind of surprising that
In
they're
general,
doing? Just in general.
in general.
Yeah, in general.
I guess there's like a lot of these people who want to be influencers, which
Oh.
I don't even know what it really means.
That's a whole thing.
But what do you think it means? Because
It's someone who gets money for being on Instagram and Facebook. Is
Oh,
what
okay.
I interpret it.
yeah, like the people who will like be paid for wearing a company sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like Dave, a lot of our clients are instead of us going down and filming and directing a commercial or a video, say on property or something, they hire influencers just to be there for a week and take pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's awesome.
So how do they pick who the influencer
By their
is?
following
Yeah.
numbers.
Oh,
and-
they just go online and look. They just go to Instagram and see who's.
Well,
who's
look at the
got a lot of
Kardashians, man. I mean, they're
Yep.
making money just for
Yeah.
being influencers, basically. It's kind of a joke.
Wow.
They're making a lot of money.
Too much money. It's nuts.
So do you know some people that are doing this?
I do. I don't know that many people because it's not really my clientele. Like I'm not that cool, you know. And those people are very, very cool. And it's funny because my boyfriend's mom the other day was like, "Oh, you have 900 followers on Instagram. You're an influencer." And I was like, no.
That's a lot.
Is that the magic number?
Get there.
Is 1,000 like the magic
You
number?
need like a couple 100,000.
100,000?
Oh yeah, easy.
yeah.
easy.
So like if you have 6,000 followers, you're nobody.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's like even levels of Instagram where you like unlock certain features once you get 10,000.
My God, it's like Super
So-
Mario Brothers. It's crazy.
And people really like that's what they do. They want to do everything for the gram.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy money.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind
Now
of
that Jim heard this, he's gonna be on it
Yeah.
all week.
That's
I
kind
don't
of
know, one follower.
what I was raging about is that how these people are just trying to do stuff like that, and it's
Yeah.
they're not really being productive,
Right.
They're just using their looks or whatever, and it's shallow in my opinion, Like,
Right.
what kind of person are you really,
Yeah.
My boyfriend calls it the highlight reel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's actually really depressing when you're like scrolling through Instagram and you're seeing everyone having a great time and you're like
Yeah.
sitting on your couch.
You're like,
with-
you cry at night.
Yeah.
You have daddy
Yeah,
issues.
they're not always
Right.
they're not always having a good time, guys. In case you didn't know.
Life's tough, man.
Spoiler alert, they cry too.
You're not always on the beach, stupid.
Oh, man. Well, last night I was actually on Instagram, and an old classmate of mine, she has a son that's probably early 20s or close to 20, and he's a bodybuilder, and the dude's jacked, right? But when you scroll through and are seeing these pictures, they're like all the same. But every time he posts something, he's getting thousands and thousands of likes on it. But you would think after you see the guy on the 10th time, and it's like the same thing,
Yeah.
you would kind of get tired of it. But
Yeah.
no, I guess they don't. I
No, because it's like such an easy like double tap. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
It
then
is
people,
crazy.
yeah, it really is insane. I get excited when I get like 20 likes. Like, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it's an instant serotonin
Yeah, the dopamine rush.
dopamine rush. Yeah, it's actually proven that you get
Yeah.
this like instant,
Oh,
whatever you
yeah.
want to call it, communication.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. We talked about social media stuff. I don't know if you heard that episode.
I did
We had a
not.
little- yeah, a little
unfortunately.
conversation
Called
about
me
it.
out on it.
Yeah,
think-
Jay's dark on
I
it,
think
man.
Jason went crazy that time
He's a
too.
ghost on it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
I'll tell you what, Jason. Since then, it's not because of our episode, but since then, I'm totally turned off the Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I got on Instagram, somebody pushed me to set up an account just for work. I did, and I started realizing on Instagram, I like the fact, it's going to sound funny how I say this, but I like the fact it's more superficial. You just go on there and and I don't mean superficial the way you're thinking superficial.
Yeah, I think I know
you
what
just
you
go
mean.
on there and you're seeing pictures of people.
Right.
It's not like you
not a
can't figure out
conversation
where
back
they
and forth.
live,
Yeah.
all this personal stuff about them. And the worst part is when you go on Facebook, honestly, if I start scrolling through, right, I scroll through 5 different pictures. Out of 5, 3 are like political fights.
Yeah.
It's
that's
crazy.
great. Yeah, it's
Every
Plus-
time.
plus
I really
negative.
don't see that on Instagram.
No. It takes. I think it takes more effort to find that on Instagram. Like you have to
It
scroll through
does.
the comments and like see if
Yes.
there's anybody bashing the person for the post that they did.
through
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook's like, little Billy had a headache today.
Back to school.
Yeah.
Back to school
don't get me
time.
started.
That's what we.
That's Jim's trigger. It's the
Yeah.
back to school pictures
Oh,
when they're
God.
50 years old.
I got stuck behind a bus a couple years ago when school started up again.
Oh no.
Oh
And I
no.
saw this kid like 18 get on it or something. And then later on, coincidentally, I saw he was on. The mom was like, little Billy's going to school again. I'm like, dude's 26 going to school. Stop taking pictures of that shit.
Jim flips out.
Sorry.
Well, even did you guys see the 10-year thing this
Oh, I
year?
heard about that. Yeah.
No, what's that?
What
It
they-
was people were taking photos of them from like 10 years ago and then putting it next to a photo
yeah.
of
I saw
them.
celebrities on there.
Oh, how they age?
Yeah,
How they
yeah,
age?
but
I did
like-
see
They
something
call it
about
like
that.
the 10-year challenge or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
It's the most ridiculous. It's like, oh, let me put up more pictures of myself and see
Yeah.
how many people like it. It's just
Speaking of
Yeah.
that, how about Jennifer Aniston? She's 50. She looks exactly the same. I saw a picture of her recently. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
What, the one you took from the tree you were perched
I think
up
she
in
sold her
outside
soul. I
house?
think she sold her soul to the devil. She looks the
Good. A
same.
lot of people did out there.
Yeah.
it's
I
crazy.
mean, they also have trainers and crazy
Yeah,
diets and
yeah,
stuff
it's
like
true.
that. They have access to everything.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's blood.
So. Yeah.
They're like, give me some more of that, my butter.
So we kind of got away a little bit from the Super Bowl, which was
Ah.
yesterday.
Wow.
What'd everybody think?
It's
Let's
a
get
snoozer.
opinions.
Yeah. That's what I think.
I mean, it's a shame because it is really a credit to both defenses that
Yeah.
they were able to hold each team back as much
It
as
is.
they did, especially two high scoring teams, with two high profile quarterbacks.
Some people like defensive battles,
It was one.
It was a defensive
definitely one.
battle, but to go off on a little bit of a tangent, I'll stay on the topic of the Super Bowl. But next year, I'm going to put as many prop bets in as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because there were some good ones this year. For
Yeah.
example, Julian Edelman winning the MVP was like plus 2,500.
Wow.
So if you put $100 on him to win MVP, you would have won $2,500.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice. That's
I'm
a
gonna
good one.
just put like
Yeah.
$20 on like a bunch of different prop bets next year and try to make a little bit of cash.
I'll go
off
with
it
you on
'cause
that.
it's
You think the
crazy.
Patriots will be in it next year?
Probably.
It doesn't stop.
It's insane.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
What do you think about all the Patriots and particularly the Brady haters? What's your take on that?
I'm not gonna. I'll be the first to admit that Brady's probably the greatest quarterback of all time. You can't deny the guy's.
But
hurts
people,
say- it
but
hurts
people
saying
try
it,
to
but it
deny
is.
it. People
No,
try to deny
there's-
it. It's
you
crazy.
You can't deny it. It's.
Are you a big
it's
football fan?
crazy.
I really do like football, but because I work on the weekends a lot, I tend to miss it. But I was living in Massachusetts the last time they
You
won.
Patriots fan?
Am I a Patriots fan? No, I am a Ravens fan
Okay.
and secondarily an Eagles fan.
All right, there you
Go Birds. So living in Massachusetts and during that, it's a really interesting experience because it's really like a cult. Like New
Yeah.
England as a whole just loves this team so much, and like everyone else I know does not.
Yeah.
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 You think
It's
they
just
get
jealousy.
tired of parades though? Every
don't
year,
know.
city shutting down
Probably not.
Hey,
after all this time.
you know who actually feels pretty good?
Who's that?
All the Giants fans and all the Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Because we're like, hey, we
Yeah.
beat that team.
Yeah.
It's
a
Oh,
feat.
yeah.
You know?
Think about
Eagles
that.
are 1-1, but Giants are 2-0. So
That's
they've
right.
got some bragging rights.
I did beat him twice. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, I did see on Facebook. I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you see Usain Bolt was there?
And he ran the 40.
He was in
4.4?
sweatpants and just regular sneakers,
Off
not
the
cleats or
street,
anything.
basically,
And
yeah.
he casually tied the NFL record for 40-yard dash.
What was
How
it,
crazy is
4.4
that?
seconds or something? like that?
4.2, I think.
Yeah, I think it's less than that.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it was
crazy.
fast.
I read this article somebody wrote before. It was pretty interesting about the difference between fast and quick. So quick, if you're a runner like that, is basically your 0 to 60 time if you're a car, right?
Right.
How
Yeah, how about you?
what duration
accelerate?
you could get to your top speed.
yeah.
But fast is what your top speed is.
Okay.
And he's not necessarily quick. That's why a lot of people beat him off the line. But he's the fastest.
Okay.
He could run like the top speed of everybody. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Superhuman.
love watching that guy run. It's awesome.
Yep.
I was drunk one night at a party not too long ago, and these 25-year-olds, they were like high school football stars, and I was like, I could beat you because I was pretty quick.
Oh no.
Pulled both hammies.
No.
Yep. I told my buddy
I
too.
didn't
I
know
was like, put some money on me, bro. He's like, no way, man. He's like, they're young. So he said, go. This one went, and then 2 steps later, this one went. It was awful.
Did you
That's
just
amazing.
fall?
I thought my wife was gonna leave me. She was so turned off. I was like, oh,
First off, why are you getting in a competition with 25-year-olds?
'Cause I was
Oh,
everything
God.
made sense at the time.
Why were you at his party with 25-year-olds?
That
What
is
kind of
the
party
good
was this?
question.
No, it was an older folks party, but they happened to be their cousins or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You were drunk at an older folks' party.
Oh, you don't know Jim
Or
that
fuck
well.
me.
Oh.
Jim will get drunk at any party. He's not even invited. He just wanders into the house.
I get uncomfortable
Strange.
around groups,
Oh yeah.
so I
get
gotta
that.
bang some a little bit to take that edge off.
Are you a drinker, Yael, or not at all?
Actually, I haven't had a drink since like October.
Sober October, like Jason.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't drink either?
No, I do
Oh.
occasionally, but not a whole lot. I did the whole sober October thing though.
Oh,
and
great.
I didn't drink at all for October.
Yeah, so I was explaining earlier. My boyfriend just finished bulking, and while he was bulking, he didn't want to drink, and now he's cutting, so he doesn't want to drink. And it's no fun drinking when your
I
boyfriend.
thought
is...
bulking you drink.
What
That's
is-
why I'm always
yeah,
poked
yeah,
up.
it'll help.
Poked up in the.
What does he
triple
want to
neck.
cut? Like how much?
I think he said 20 pounds.
Wow.
Wow. In a real short amount of time?
No, he's just kind of going to see how it works. His goal is like 1 pound a week.
Oh. So that's
Um,
actually technically I think cutting
Smart.
means you do it.
Really quick.
Is different than losing weight.
like
It's a
when you-
different way.
Yeah, it's kind of when you drop.
It's when you
you
dehydrate
don't want to
yourself.
drop dramatically fast though. Even when they cut, like in professional sports, like MMA, they don't go too fast.
But faster than like a
But
normal
faster
person
than
just
a pound
losing
a day,
weight.
probably.
Yeah, oh,
and-
yeah.
And the problem with that is they're going below their natural body weight. So
Right.
say like if I'm 5'8" and I should be 150 pounds,
Right.
if I try to go down to like 140 or 135 pounds, that's cutting pretty good.
TJ Dillashaw.
Went to 125. Which is
125 from
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
150
No,
something.
well, he probably walks around 145, 150.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And he fights at 135, I believe.
Oh,
so-
okay.
Did you guys see the fights this Saturday?
No, because it's all on ESPN.
Yeah,
Plus now
yeah, I
nowadays.
saw.
You
Oh,
can't,
it's not a
I
regular.
saw.
do you have the
What-
streaming service?
It was just on the free TV. Who's the guy?
But the main event
Bellator.
fights weren't on.
It was Bellator. Is
Oh,
that what
you're
we're talking about?
Bellator.
Yeah.
No, well, there was UFC on this past Saturday.
Oh no,
so-
I didn't see that.
That's who I was talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know
Aldo.
names.
You don't
What?
know, you don't know names?
I don't know names.
Wait, who was
but-
it, Jason?
Jose Aldo, I think, was the co-main event. and I
Oh, okay.
forget who had the main event.
I
Okay.
feel like they're on every weekend now.
No,
Before
they
it was
pretty
like,
much are.
Yeah, they are.
It was more of a lead up, like a build up, I should say, to
Yeah.
the fight. Now it's like, oh, this guy's fighting now. That
Well, they have
guy's
so many
fighting.
guys in the roster now too that they got to fill
There's
these cards out.
A big one coming up in March, right? A big card.
Yeah, I believe it's Forrest Whitaker and no Forrest Whitaker.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
shit.
yeah,
That's old school.
yeah,
like
Robert
60.
Robert Whitaker and
Yeah,
Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, I think
believe.
that's-
it's
yeah.
a title fight. Yeah, so
yeah, it's a good one.
that should be a good fight.
What do you think about the girl UFC fighters?
I
whole
think they're
thing.
terrifying.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's just a lot more like Ronda Rousey.
Mhm, yeah.
She there was so much hype about her, and then she
Fizzle.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it's interesting to watch them go from like MMA to wrestling,
yeah.
and see how their personas kind of change.
Do you think
Kinda-
it's good that they're fighting? You think it's like girl power? Kind
Oh
of thing, or-
yeah, totally. Whatever you're into, go
Yeah,
for
that's
it. I would not want to do it.
Right.
And it does not sound enjoyable for me. But it's really amazing that they can do it, and I would love to see like one of the really good female fighters go against a really good male fighter.
Really?
Yeah,
That'd
why
be-
not?
That'd be wild.
Like,
They
would you
can't
like
do
to see
that.
that in
That'd be-
general, like with sports? Like a good female, like say a
Yeah.
WNBA team, like women's basketball professional,
Yeah, that
play against like
sounds
a
cool.
good college team. It would be fun.
I think I'd rather see that than them.
I would
punch
like
each
to see
other.
that.
I'd be like, oh.
I would like
Yeah.
to see that.
It would be rough to see a guy fight a girl inside. the
Not
UFC.
fight.
Say,
I
not
wouldn't
say
wanna
she
see
couldn't
that.
win. It'd just be hard to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Girl
Well,
get
that's
ground
also
kicked, yeah.
that's kind of the culture we grew up in. I mean, granted, I'm not telling anyone to, hit a girl, but when in the right, dynamics, and if you're in a ring,
Mhm.
go
Yeah.
like you should treat your
Equal.
yeah.
If you go to YouTube, you'll see like Misha Tate, for example. She
She's
just
probably spars with guys.
spars,
stuff,
and she's
yeah.
practicing with these. I don't know. They were doing this little YouTube video, and there were some high school guys, 4 of them, one by one. They went in the cage with her.
Yeah, and
she
she-
killed them.
she smoked her
Yeah, she
brother,
smoked
right?
them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure she was a collegiate wrestler. And,
Okay.
Because I think they have female wrestling.
It's
in
pretty
college.
tough. She almost beat
She's
Ronda
extremely
Rousey.
tough. Yeah,
It was pretty close.
yeah. She beat Holly Holm, who beat Ronda Rousey. So,
Yeah, that's right. She did.
and
yeah.
I mean, the last pay per view I watched was Amanda Nunes against Cyborg, and that was the most entertaining fight of the night.
Amanda Nunes is a
She's
a
incredible.
machine. She's a machine.
She knocked out Cyborg
I
in
know.
the first round.
I never thought that was
It was
possible.
in like a minute, not even.
Crazy.
And it's like you got to give props to these females for doing what they do.
Oh,
I
hell
mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
They'd take
it
all
just
3 of us if we went in there.
Oh yeah,
We just have to bum rush her.
we still get knocked out.
I pull my hammy running towards her.
Yeah.
hit the
Both of
mat.
them. Both of you.
I'm out.
Speaking of Ronda Rousey being in the WWE now, one thing that I would like to see, since it's in a realm and in an industry where things are scripted out, I would love to see Ronda Rousey become like the first heavyweight champion, like legitimate WWE champion,
Yeah,
but
you
as
said
a
that
female.
before.
So I don't know if
Said
they'll
that
actually
before.
do it, but I think she has the star power. Not only the star power, but she has the physical chops to hang with the dudes in the ring.
Yeah, it's just her size compared to a lot of their sizes. Like remember China when she
Yeah.
was alive, and there
She was
was a
big.
couple others like Nicole
When
Bass.
she was alive.
Like then when she
She passed
died.
away.
China
Yeah.
died. Yeah, but like people that
I didn't know
big,
that.
I could understand. Like I could see them winning and it be realistic.
But if you don't have
little
a
more-
big champion like the Daniel Bryan, who's a champion, he's
well,
not
yeah,
big of a
that
guy,
yeah, I
so
could see that. Yeah,
Put Ronda Rousey in there with a guy like.
I don't
him.
think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it is either, but it would be cool to see.
Yeah,
I mean, they had China win the Intercontinental title. which was
right,
pretty
right.
cool,
Yeah, that was a
so,
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Did you play any sports? Yeah, Al. in school?
So I went to a private Jewish high school,
Nice.
which was great.
Mhm.
And I was MVP of the basketball team.
No,
Nice.
what?
Big deal.
Really? Were you point guard?
I was point guard.
I knew it. I knew it.
I was point guard. It was awesome. We were like Division 3. My dad's obsessed with basketball, so he
Wow.
was like on the sidelines, like yelling and giving me directions, and I was like so stressed out. But it was also like I was on like a private Jewish basketball team. There was like no.
Were they like the Globetrotters?
Who'd you guys play?
We played other private.
The
Jewish-
Washington Generals. They played the Generals.
No, it was interesting. We played a lot of Christian schools.
Oh man, a religious battle.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
Well, actually, one of the places the like fans threw bagels at us.
No.
It
That is
was.
some racist shit.
It was
my
really.
God.
It was like the parents also.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It
Parents
was
are
crazy.
nuts.
Did you
Also
guys?
bagels.
Did you guys
like,
throw dead Jesus at them?
Oh, no.
man.
Too much?
That's bad.
Too far?
That's bad.
I'm Catholic. I'm allowed to make fun of my
Maybe
religion.
they threw pasta at them.
It was interesting.
That's
though.
crazy.
Yeah.
When I went to a game at Franklin Field
was
over at
adults.
University of Penn before, and they do a toast to Ben Franklin. They sing this song, and then everybody throws toast on the field. That reminds
Really?
me of that. Yeah, but they're not throwing it at
That's not
people.
Slightly
aggressive,
different,
though, right?
One's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally, it's
No,
totally
I get it.
different. You just
But
reminded
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So adults were doing
That's
that.
That's pretty
Yeah,
rough.
it was interesting.
Jim, when I was a senior, myself and Tom, I'm not going to mention last names, but my friend Tom took the SATs the morning of a football game, right? So we went right from the SATs to the game, and it was at Mainland High School, and we're walking in, and we have our gear over our. You could clearly see we're from Hamilton, right? We got our gear over our shoulders, and the people in the state were like, "Go home, blueberries, go home."
They're throwing it.
They're calling us blueberries.
They should have had blueberries to throw at you. That
yeah,
would've
yeah.
been
They probably wish they did.
Go
Oh,
home,
man.
blueberries.
Did
So-
you only play football?
In high school, yeah. I played baseball growing up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, until about, 7th grade.
Do you
or
know
so.
Dave's nickname in football?
No. I would
Here we go.
love to.
With his
He
lame
was
jokes.
Superman
Superman.
because the balls bounced off him like bullets. It's a good one.
Oh,
It's a
God.
good one.
How good was Graves saying
Every
that
time.
joke?
What was your nickname?
Awesome, Jim.
Awesome.
Speedster.
He
The
was
quick and the
Flash.
furious.
Oh, man.
Left bench.
So
my
what
name.
was what was your signature move when you were a point guard? Did you
Oh,
have
I
a
was,
crossover?
Well, yeah, crossover,
What?
and then I would, since I was so short, I would like steal the ball from these like tall point
Yeah.
guards.
You're like Iverson.
Yeah, but I would
Nice.
kind of like sneak up underneath that. It was I don't know. I kind of
Yeah, you go around the back side and take the ball right.
or even sometimes underneath their legs. I just like.
Oh,
pull it.
man.
That
That's
was my
great.
early days.
I want to see video of this.
Oh God.
That's awesome.
Oh God, and they made us wear like these bright red. So okay, I grew up Jewish Orthodox, and we weren't allowed to wear pants. We only could wear skirts.
Skirt.
So we had these like bright red skirts and bright red
Wow.
long T-shirts.
That's like a
Wow.
tennis outfit.
It was like
Oh, it was
down
long.
to the floor.
What?
Yeah, it was
Whoa.
not.
How could you
an-
do your crossovers and stuff?
I would like
run
have
into
to kind of hike it up.
What?
It was a whole
No
thing.
way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Could have probably made a WNBA if you had shorts.
Must look like
Right?
oh man, must look like an Amish team out there. That's awesome.
It was that's why we got bagels thrown at us.
Oh no, that's
I'm just-
crazy.
It was
Did they have?
interesting.
I hope they didn't have like cream cheese on them.
No, no,
they were just
no.
plain bagels.
I mean, if they had cream cheese on them, I would have been like, all right.
Dude, even without the cream cheese, I also would have snagged his bag and brought him home with me.
Is that an everything bagel? Crap.
Yeah.
I
Think
never
about
heard
that.
of such
Someone
a
had to
thing.
make an effort to coordinate the
Right.
bagel throwing.
I'm
Like,
just
hey,
glad,
everyone, bring bagels.
Right, I'm
And
just
it-
glad
Yeah,
they didn't
oh, yeah.
have like locks on it because
Yeah.
that would have been a little weird. If
Yeah.
like we had fish like
Oh,
hitting
God.
our, you
That'd
know?
have been messy.
That's
just a little
terrible.
bit,
To
yeah.
high school kids, could you imagine? That's why Jim can't have any kids. He'd be that. He'd be that guy.
I'll be that dad.
He'd be that dad.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I'll be only semi-racist.
That's terrible.
I think like internal. I don't even know if there's a word. Internal racism. I wouldn't call it racism, but like,
Never heard
I
that
make fun of
term.
Dave for being. I'm Italian too, but not as much as him. So if I made fun of him being Italian, so
Sure,
if I was
of
like,
course.
"Yo, pasta vazul, what is going on?" Like I think if you can make fun of each other's nationality or religion, but not be, of course, hateful or harmful.
Right, but where's that line?
Yeah.
And especially in this, I don't know, day and age. There's like so much
The easily
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
offended.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very
So
easily offended.
hypersensitive. What do you feel about that? Like, how are your feelings on people being so sensitive about things and issues?
Well, it's interesting because some people, if they're making Jewish jokes, I'm totally cool with it because, like, I know you're cool. Like, but if someone I'm not so sure is making a joke about being Jewish, even if it's like a small comment, I'll get offended.
Oh, you mean so
Right.
if us in here can do it?
You not so much.
Damn it. I saw that door opening wide open.
No, it is interesting because sometimes it'll like take me back and I'll be like, why am I offended by this? It's fine. I'm
Yeah.
not meaning anything by it. But also, a lot of times people don't really know what they're saying. So they think it's funny, but it's really
Yeah.
like, but I also, with, the president these days, there is a lot of hate going on. So it feels like it's intensified over the last few years.
Oh, it absolutely has been.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's really, really crazy. A few years ago, so my entire family lives in Israel besides me and my parents. So the few years ago when Trump became president, I was like, all right, let's move to Israel. Israel or Canada. And my boyfriend was like,
You're making
no.
Dave mad.
No, I'm kidding.
He's sweating.
I'm glad she stayed.
He looked like Sad Affleck in that one.
No,
meme.
I
listen.
appreciate that.
I'm good.
But go ahead, continue.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's always really interesting because some people also make a big deal out of nothing, or I don't know. There's a lot of misinterpretation.
Oh yeah,
That's
ton
what
of
it is.
that.
You know what's crazy? Maybe you won't believe me, but I can't think of a time I was ever actually offended. I don't think anybody's ever said anything to me where I was like offended.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
know
when
if
your mom
was
said
that.
she loves you, you were.
No.
100%.
So with you having family in Israel and them being, from another country and seeing the United States from the outside in, what do they think? Like, what are their feelings about everything that's going on in this country?
It's really they have so much of their own political craziness going on. They just want Israel, or they just want America to keep giving them money, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, also, like, there's a lot of Orthodox Jews that I know of. I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people I know who will vote for the American president based on their views and how they're going to help Israel.
That makes sense.
Well, everybody
Um,
votes on almost
Politics.
everybody votes for politics in general
Yeah.
for one
Right.
or a few items that are on their own agenda.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
But
that's how it
usually I
goes.
feel like it's, within the country. But,
Right. This is outside.
this is literally for a different country.
Yeah.
So I find that really interesting.
So what was the take on that? Like from the Israeli point of view, was it that Hillary Clinton was going to give them more money,
No.
or Donald Trump?
Oh wow.
Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At
Interesting.
least from the people I spoke to about it, definitely not Hillary.
Yeah, he had
Okay.
the president on in the White House like in the first month.
Oh,
or two
that's
that
right.
he-
Yeah, that's
he was-
right. That's right. I actually forgot
elected.
about that.
I believe he was the first president who kissed the Wailing Wall in Israel.
Really?
I
The
believe.
first?
Don't quote me on
No, I
that
think he
internet.
was. And then he actually declared Jerusalem the
Jerusalem,
capital.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
So how'd
If
that
you're
go
gonna do
over
it, you might
in
as
your
well do it.
household?
Um,
Was that a good thing or?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what my parents thought about it, but I think that a lot of people just thought it was like Trump trying to just change things and kind of
I think he does that.
yeah.
We try not to go too far in politics on
That
this,
makes
but
sense.
I think he just like what I said. I like controlled anarchy. Like when things are too smooth,
Yeah.
I get something needs to be shooken up a little bit. I think that's what he does. He's like, oh, no one yelled at me today. I'm going to declare Afghanistan the capital of America. It's like, what the?
Great.
Yeah.
Well, on our last episode, Jim was saying how you were saying you like how people go at each other because you kind of sit back and enjoy the drama, right? Like
Yeah,
on social media and stuff. But you have to understand, it's so embedded in everything now. It's going to affect you. It's embedded in politics, so that's going to affect you. If you have a kid that goes to any school, it's going to affect you because it's an educational system.
Cyberbullying.
So just people not just pushing their views is going to affect you.
Mhm.
I mean, I know what you're saying. It's fun to watch the drama. And I feel that way too, but I know like it's affecting me and it will continue to get worse maybe. So I don't like it. That's why I don't like it.
I like it
All
because
the
it's
drama.
affecting you. That's
That's
cool
fair.
for me.
That's fair.
But if you don't like it, how do you diminish it? Like, what role can you take to help mitigate it? If you can take any role to help diminish it and mitigate it.
the role I take, the only thing I see right now that can be done is kind of what I was saying last week when we were talking about the meaning of life. Just control your own space. So like I was telling you, I don't go too much on Facebook anymore because I don't want to get sucked in. I don't want to be involved in the drama. I just, if I'm going to be affected by something, say in politics, like they're going to pass certain regulations that are going to hit me in my wallet or whatever, then I'll vote on it. But I'm not going to like argue with people about it because I just don't want to get sucked in.
Right. I totally agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
all about managing, my own space and everything.
Yeah.
But
Like
how
I don't
do we-
impose my views, even though we have a podcast or whatever. I don't impose my views
whatever.
on. Well, we're talking about
No,
things,
no,
but
no.
I don't think we
I know what you
talk
mean.
politics
No.
very much at all. And when
No.
we do, I don't think we give too many opinions.
Right.
Because nobody cares what our opinions are.
Right, yeah, it's
And
not
and they
our
shouldn't.
say.
They shouldn't
Oh
care
no,
what
we
our,
could piss some people off.
Oh,
Let's-
we could easily. That's the
No,
problem.
but
though.
I'm
That's what I'm
saying-
about to say.
Well,
Go ahead,
that's,
Jason.
that's the point I
Let's
want to
make
try to
people
make. Like
upset.
the problem is we could piss a lot of people off, and that anger spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
How do you put out that wildfire that just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading, where these people are just getting infuriated over the littlest things that can get taken out of context?
You just ignore, I think.
That's what I think
Yeah.
you guys.
I
Most
have-
people aren't ignoring it. you
Right.
know?
I have a friend / client who is so into politics, and he always would try to bait people. Like he'd start a conversation innocently enough, and then it would turn into like a debate or a
Right.
semi-argument.
Yeah.
And he would do that with me, and now I kind of ignore it.
Are you talking about Ace? He's in the other room. You shouldn't
No.
talk about him like
That's
that.
true, man.
Not Ace.
That's funny though that people do that. I've witnessed that before. I don't think it's ever happened to me personally, but I've witnessed like where somebody would just a stranger on a train start up a conversation with somebody and then just go off on this like political tirade. And it's
yeah.
like, why?
I
Like,
think
what's the
there's
point of
people who
doing
get a
that?
satisfaction of like kind of verbally overpowering somebody
Yeah.
or in written word overpowering somebody, and then they probably feel like that validates their point of view. I like psychology,
Yeah.
so that's the way I think of it, but I don't want to be involved.
No.
Like I have my opinion and you have yours, and I'll be happy to listen to yours if you could back it up with some good reasons, but
Right.
9 times out of 10 they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to get in the conversation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I did hear that, people today care more about who their kids date politically than, even 50 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
I heard like a lot of 90% of people would be upset if they were a Democrat and their kids started dating a Republican.
How
It's
do
not
you
even
know
about
if
race.
they're
Like, is that like
Democrat or
right at the
Republican
top of the
that
list
age?
of the traits that they're
Yeah.
looking for? And
Yeah.
wow.
That's what I
See what I mean? That's so
crazy.
Yeah.
silly.
I mean, all right, let's like
When it should be
face
the
facts.
personal
I mean,
appearance.
we really don't know what's going
The
on
physical
behind.
appearance.
We don't know what's going on behind closed doors in the White House. We might know a little bit more now because of social media and how Trump is using social media as a platform.
Yeah.
But we don't really know a whole lot that's going behind closed doors. We knew a whole lot less when we were kids of what was going on behind closed doors. So how are you supposed to side with Democrat or Republican? I mean, in our household, in our family, like our grandfather was a Republican, so we just, followed what our family.
He voted
did
for
kinda.
Obama twice, though.
Did he really?
Yes,
I
he
never
did.
knew that.
Yes, he did.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know a lot of Republicans that did, and they voted for Kennedy
I,
also.
I can't believe in this day and age people are still voting party line. It's crazy to me.
No, it is pretty
It's so
insane.
crazy.
And the fact that this whole political system has turned into a playground of sorts of like we need to win, we need to beat the other team basically.
Right.
Just by
Right.
any means necessary. It's not even about doing what's best for the country anymore. It's like our
No.
team needs to win.
I know.
That's it. That's all it's come down to
Crazy.
anymore.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see the Starbucks guy?
No.
No, I think the Starbucks guy, like the guy who owns it, I'm really bad with names, but he was saying how he might run for president,
Oh boy.
Oh, the guy that owns Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Huh.
which is and not like associated with either party, from what I understand.
Kevin Johnson.
Oh,
is
like
that
an
him?
independent.
Is that maybe? Is he an old-looking rich guy?
Yeah. It's pretty vague.
Don't talk about Dave.
How do you look rich? Hey, I don't look old. How do you look rich?
I mean, he does look very white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
So, what was I about to say? Yeah, it slipped my mind.
Yeah,
I had a
we're going down
point
that
there.
rabbit hole
I had a
politics.
point there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing,
say we
like-
just start over.
Oh, I know what I was
Fire
going to say.
everybody.
Remember the kid a
Why
few
not?
weeks ago we were talking about that I think it was in Washington, he came across the Native American
Oh,
and then there was a whole big to do.
Yeah, that
He's suing everybody I
Yeah.
saw. His lawyer
Defamation
is
of
suing
character, man.
everybody.
It's a huge deal. Defamation. of
He's
character.
suing all the papers, bunch of media people, a few celebrities.
Yeah, because I
I think he's suing Ace. I think Ace is dating.
No way.
Well, like Kathy Griffin, like came
Kathy
out
Griffin.
and tried to like find out where he was from and
Yeah.
everything. And there was another. I think I talked about it last time. About there was another kid at a wedding who got him and his family got
Oh, yeah.
Mistaken identity.
because they thought it was that kid and it
Yeah,
wasn't him.
yeah.
It's terrible.
That's
you
awful.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that attorney really goes after who he's saying
He
he's
could
he's
probably-
going to take a lot of people down.
Yeah, he could probably make a small mint. over that.
Lisa Warren. Is that
I don't know. That, I don't
See, this is
recognize
where my
the-
controlled chaos comes in.
Yeah.
I sit back. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. It ain't affecting me yet. Well, I mean, sure it does down the road, but
yeah.
right now it's like watching a movie.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think also Facebook has this algorithm that you kind of only see a lot of this political views that you kind of align with. So I
Yeah.
find it really interesting because people are arguing on Facebook, but at the same time, it's not even like both the
Yeah.
real both opposites.
Stories, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much social media really affects the way we
Yeah.
think.
I would like to become America again. That'd be cool.
I want
All
that. Would be,
united.
yeah, that would be
Yeah,
great.
right.
Sweet.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. That'd be great.
You know, since we're on the topic, yeah, I'll ask you
Sure.
to get a point of view from somebody your age. So the thing that bothers me a lot about what's going on is like when I look at things, even TV shows from 20, 30 years ago, it was much more freedom of speech and expression. Like even further back than that, like All in the Family. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Archie
yeah.
Bunker and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Jeffersons and all that, right? And they would say stuff and people weren't offended. It was funny. And now, fast forward, a lot of people feel like they can say less things. There's less freedom. How does that sit with you, like somebody your age? Is that a good thing? Is that bad, or you're just indifferent?
I think there needs to be a better balance. I think that yes, we shouldn't say some of the things that people were okay with saying 30, 40 years ago. But it also gets to a point where it feels like every other word you have to make sure it's like very neutral.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think that the kids today, in high school at least, are growing up in a much more accepting environment. So they do feel more comfortable coming out as gay or, transgender or whatever it is. So that's great. I think it's really great that we're letting kids be who they are. But it's a struggle when you're like worried that you're offending someone by saying like, hello,
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
So-
imagine
Why'd
being
you
a
say it that way?
teacher or
Oh,
a
yeah.
professor.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
that's
got to
gotta
be hard now
so
for
tough.
teachers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And everything's misinterpreted. So you could say really, like I don't know if
Right.
you guys saw the guy from Temple. Maybe this is too much of a topic to bring up, but there was this
Called
guy,
nothing nice to say.
this professor from Temple, I think, like almost lost his job because he was, making a point about the Middle East conflict, and a lot of people kind of took what he said and turned it into something that might have not been what he meant.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
was-
shame.
Yeah.
I did see an article. There was a teacher in Florida, and the student didn't hand in their assignment. Like they flat out refused to, and it wasn't any controversial assignment. He just was lazy, and she gave him a 0, and she got fired for that because the lowest grade that the school will allow you to give is a 50, which still is a bad grade, right? I'm sure it's an F.
Yeah.
But he had to get some credit for just doing nothing, and she refused, and
Good
she
for
got
her.
fired. She lost her job.
That's crazy.
She lost her job.
I know there were zeros when I was in school.
Yeah,
why
me too.
does that have to be different now?
I don't know.
Just because you show up to sit in your seat, you get a somewhat of some kind of grade. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the 50 is a lot different than the 0 because you could come
Yeah.
back, maybe get a 80 or 90, average it
Yeah.
out, and you're passing now. Crazy.
There has to be more to that. That can't be the only bit of info.
It's maybe because she called him a.
That's all that was in the article.
There you go.
That's all that was in the article.
That's what
all
I
can
read.
say. No, nothing like that. No confrontation.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't in the article.
That's why I'm scared to reproduce.
That's
Plus
the
I'm
only
old.
reason.
Yeah.
That's
Has
the
nothing
only
to do
reason.
with what's going on here.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I'm probably not allowed to.
We don't. Yeah.
I should probably look into that. Don't they have a DNA thing where like, no, you should not reproduce?
They should. We should invent that.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah.
I'm about it.
Kind of foresee your future.
Oh, God.
God.
Yeah.
I would imagine that.
I feel like there'd be a lot less people around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Mm.
I think you're right.
I don't know if that's a better thing or a worse thing.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with better.
Better.
Yeah. Way too many people.
Well, it's crazy what technology could do today with DNA and figuring out like if your child is gonna have
Hmm
mental issues or
Yeah.
whatnot. It's really
It's a big deal.
really crazy.
It's crazy. What do you hope comes out next, technologically speaking? What do you want to see?
Advancement for humans or just
Just techie stuff.
I don't know. I'm a really low tech guy. I just got my
Yeah.
first smart TV ever.
Nice.
Been watching
That's
Netflix
a
every
big
night.
up.
Wow.
I'll tell you what they
Congrats.
should invent, just because based on what you guys are talking about on this podcast, this is what I think would be an
Oh, boy.
awesome invention. Yeah, he says, "Oh boy, I like it," but something that could explain something to everyone based on what they think is right and what they believe,
Oh.
but that means the same. That means what it actually means.
It interprets it for the individual.
Right,
I
because
love it.
I feel like
it's great.
Dave, you say a lot of times people get like offended and whatnot, and you can't say this, and you can't do that. But like I
Right.
think you just see it so different that like you might not be understanding it the right way, so you just automatically disregard it. Whereas
Is it the
someone
right
else,
way, or I'm not understanding it their way?
right, you're not understanding it like for what it actually is. You know,
For
Go
that,
Black
from their
Mirror.
point of view.
yeah, from everybody. And it would be really cool if everybody could sort of understand the main point, because so much of everything I feel gets lost in translation, especially when you talk about like people getting offended. Like, I mean, truth is, like, we don't know what it's like to be a person other than what we are, which is a bunch of, I hate to say the word like privilege or whatever like that, but technically we fall in that category just because it's a little bit easier. So like, you know, if there was an invention out there that could make everybody see something for what the point actually is, I think that would be a good way to stop all of the annoying things that we all
I'd
have to
hate
deal
Dave
with.
even worse.
Because then you'd understand what he really means.
Oh
You'd
my
be like,
god, it'd be
Yeah.
anarchy.
I say what I really mean.
no, you do. Yeah.
That would be something though. You're right. That would be something special.
I feel like that's a Black Mirror episode waiting to happen.
Good invention.
Oh.
That is a good invention.
I know what you're talking about because I have Netflix now.
Nice.
Because I have
So what's
Netflix.
the Netflix show you're watching?
I just finished You, which is based on
Never heard of it.
Dave
Is
in
that
his younger
the
years.
creepy guy?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yep.
nice.
What? I say I like that.
Yeah. I see why you shouldn't have kids now.
And
Hey,
then-
did you see Aquaman yet?
No.
It's good.
Is it?
It's really good.
Cool.
I thought. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Jason?
I haven't seen it.
It's
No.
Aquaman?
If you like,
Ace, now you got me thinking on that.
You got
Yeah.
Jim in it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna stay up all night thinking about that technology.
You got it. If you make that, like, seriously, if you could explain things to people how they would understand it, like, for what something actually is intended to be.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's extremely controversial, like the kneeling and all that stuff. But if people could just understand what it actually is for and not just what they think it's for.
Yeah.
You know, like if what the actual movement and the actual stance stands for is something completely different than what most people think it is. And it's a very intense thing. I'm not saying I'm just saying, like, if we could all just understand I just want to be good, man. I want everybody to be happy.
You
I want
are
everybody
good.
to be nice to each other. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I do find the teenagers that I know today, I don't know a lot of teenagers, but the ones that I do, they get their news and their stuff from memes. You know what a meme
Oh,
is.
Jesus.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
We're
really?
doomed.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Wow.
Doomed.
It is
Terrifying thought.
terrifying because they get like, four
That's
words and they
crazy.
think they know what they're talking
Yeah.
about, but they don't. And it's a little terrifying that these, 15-year-olds are running around.
That's the alarming thing to me is that you mentioned earlier how people 40, 50 years ago when they were growing up, they had their situation was a lot different than today. Like today, they're hustlers a little bit more.
Right.
They have to have multiple jobs or whatever compared to before. But what I see in teenagers is that one of the issues is they seem to think they know everything. Like you can't teach them anything because they already have all the answers, but they don't. But when you hear them really
Maybe they
talking,
do. You haven't looked through the
well, did you watch the
lens
clip
of the
I
new
sent?
app.
Did you watch a clip I sent you, Jim,
of
with the guy that was on the college campus interviewing people? He was a military guy.
it changed my.
Did you watch
Yeah,
it?
it changed my what does it say? Changed my mind or
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It was like it changed my mind. You ever see those, Jason?
No.
It's like you have a topic and the guy's sitting at a table and he'll just throw the topic out and he'll be like, here's my view, change my mind.
Okay.
And they want you to explain it. And these college kids so it was about the wall, right? The wall separating Mexico and the United States. And I just wanted to hear what they had to say, right? I was very interested. And it was a shame. Like the kids, not all of them, but a lot of, let's say there are 8 of them, right? So say 5 out of the 8 were like, wall's bad. And he's like, okay, well, tell me why. And they just had nothing. They had no substance to back up. I wanted to hear like some good things they had to say. Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But they just thought, I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right.
Yeah.
but they couldn't say why they were right.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of teenagers. I feel like that.
Yeah.
You know? I mean it's just kind of part of your, I don't know, the angst that you have at that age and everything. The
You only know what
passion
you
that
know at
have.
that
You don't-
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
And
That's
the
true.
military guy was on point. He knew his stuff. He had his
Yeah.
facts and everything.
So
I'll
the
send it
app
to you.
would come in handy.
It'd come in
Big
very handy,
time
man.
right there. The
Yeah,
app would
yeah, it
be,
would.
Yep.
It would be fire.
Yep.
I'm like, it's gonna raise your tax dollars 737%. I'm like, yeah, no, we don't need the wall.
Well, it is interesting to think about how teenagers learn differently than even 20-year-olds because like I mean I had Facebook and MySpace in high school, but
Yeah,
before
MySpace.
that, yeah,
Yeah, where
Good
did
old
Tom go?
days.
Where'd Tom go?
I met my wife through MySpace.
really.
Stalked her shit on the instant message.
That's when it crashed. That's when it crashed, and we never
Did.
saw it since.
I ruined it.
Yeah,
So were your profile pictures done by a professional?
Hell
or
no.
Absolutely.
professional idiot. They're done by a professional
scanned-
idiot.
I scanned Polaroids and that shit
Yeah.
back then.
Wait,
He
so
put
how
Brad
did that
Pitt
go
pictures up.
down? Was
That's
she
how
one
he
of your
got
like top 5 or fave five? What was it?
No,
Yeah,
I knew her.
Fat
I
Five.
knew her through a friend, and I was like, I just happened to be like, whoa, I noticed your friends are my friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
You have
guys
to
who
listen to the
snowboard.
episode where she was on.
Oh
she was on
my
with
god!
me. Yeah,
I would,
listen
yeah,
to
I
that.
need,
I was
need to listen to
smooth.
it. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you were.
Came in with a band and Candy. She's 9 years
Smooth-
younger than me, so I
Smooth
was
as a jigsaw.
Oh.
yep. But that was 10 years ago, so now she's like, you're old. So, she's probably gonna get rid of me soon.
She's not feeling it. Is she? She's not feeling it anymore.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
We gotta look into that app. Look on how to develop it. To change Dave's mind.
What would we call it? It wasn't to change people's minds.
No,
if you
it's
It was
to
to
see
interpret
things
stuff.
clearly.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you created Dave, it would be called "You're dumb, I'm not dumb." .com. Let's get that.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
This
was
was
good.
awesome.
What's
was
your
fun.
website one more time? for-
Yael.photos. That's spelled YAEL.photos.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Next
Maybe,
time you're on, if you come on again, we'll try to get Jim to spring for some Chinese food for you. I tried tonight, but he said he's got a mortgage payment coming up.
I know. I can't afford nothing.
I feel that
Unbelievable.
pain.
Well, thank you and good luck with everything.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Keep us posted on the dating app,
Yes,
Photography.
I will.
Yeah.
I
and then
will.
maybe one day you can photograph Jason's
We,
wedding.
yes.
Not gonna happen.
Ah,
Come
that would
on,
be
buddy.
Awesome.
We
Join
need
the
to
dark
set up.
side.
We need to set up a little photo shoot with
Ooh,
him.
we should do it on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Right,
yes.
because I could make that
That'd be
happen.
epic.
That would be great.
That would be awesome.
We'll
Look
take
at
some
that
after this.
smile.
Love
That would be
it.
great.
Love it. It's a smile only your mother can love. Right there. Look at that.
Oh, poor Jay.
That's why he's behind the camera.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
good
for
work.
coming on.
Good
We'll
work.
talk to you soon.
Job.
Sounds great.
All right.
Good one.
And next, we'll make sure next time Ace won't talk so much. Don't worry.
He has good insight.
Exactly.
I like it.
Until next time.
Until next
All right.
time.